Hello Year 7, welcome back to lesson 4 of our World of Work unit. Today's lesson is all about the impacts of tourism and how that can change over time. So we're basically going to look at how places have changed because of tourism, and we're going to have a look at the reasons for that. So, can you please write down your title, and then we're going to look at the key terms. So the key terms for today's lesson are mass tourism. So mass tourism is a form of tourism that involves tens of thousands of people going to the same resort, often at the same time of year. So if you think our summertime, it's the time when most people go on holiday. And that's what we call, so the most amount of people will go away at that time to the same place. And we call that mass tourism. The next one is tourism stagnation. This is the effect of falling tourism if a resort goes out of fashion, leading to economic decline. So basically, a hotel or resort that was once famous and lots of people used to go there, and now it's not so good anymore, and therefore no one goes there anymore. Okay, so in front of you, you can see figure 2 and figure 3. Figure 2 is Benidorm. Benidorm's in Spain, and it's quite a popular destination to go on holiday. So a lot of people from Britain go on holiday there each year. It's very popular because it's got nice beaches, it's got great weather, and it's not that far to travel. So figure 2 is Benidorm in the year 1936. As you can see here, it is a sleepy fishing village, and it has two beautiful beaches. You can see the beach here, and you can see the beach here. There's two bays there. So you can see in the picture you've got the mountains in the background, and in the foreground you haven't really got anything there. There's hardly anything there. If we fast forward then to figure 3, which is the same area of Benidorm in 2016. It is now known as the Manhattan of Spain. If you know, Manhattan's actually in New York, and it's a very overcrowded, very busy city of New York. So they've likened this area to New York. And you can see the changes here. How has it changed? Well, I can notice that in the foreground here, we've got so many buildings, lots of high-rise buildings, lots of apartments, lots of hotels. We've got the beaches there still. In the background, you can see the mountains that are there, the same mountains. But you can see there's a lot more buildings that have been built, and this is because it's become such a popular place to go on holiday. So obviously there is a demand for accommodation, places for people to stay. So how can we use a graph or a model to explain this change over time? So if you think about Benidorm, how has Benidorm changed over time from a sleepy fishing village to a bustling Manhattan of Spain? So we use this model here, and it's called the Butler Model. Okay, and you can see it in front of you, this rainbow coloured graph. So you can see it's split into 5 stages. So if you think that Benidorm in 1936, the sleepy fishing village, was here at stage 1. What you can see is that if we link it to the information at the bottom here, you can see that only a small number of tourists are attracted by the natural beauty of Benidorm in 1936. And there are only a few facilities that exist. Now, not many people can go there in 1936 because there isn't a lot of available transport. Today, we can get anywhere in the world by air travel, and it's quite affordable. back in 1936, it was really expensive to travel by plane, and there weren't many planes available to do the journey. So only a few people that could afford it or that were willing to travel by boat could go and visit these areas. So that's number one. Only a few people went there because to visit the natural beauty. Then in stage 2, we see that it is starting to grow. Tourism in this area is starting to grow. Why is it starting to grow? Well, lots of local people now are seeing, look, we can see lots of new people coming to our area. So therefore, I'm going to open up businesses to help attract these new tourists. So instead of being fishermen, they might want to change to be owners of a bed and breakfast or a little hotel or a bar or a restaurant. And that's there to accommodate the tourists that are coming in a tourist season, so like in the summer holidays. So people are changing what they're doing to get more money from these tourists. So that then would lead on to stage 3, which we call the stage of maturity, when there was a big boom in the popularity of the area. So this is now people have gone home and said to their friends, oh, I've had a lovely holiday in Benidorm, you should really go and visit there. So then people start to go. And also, as plane travel has become more affordable, people can travel there. They can afford it and to go on holiday. So lots of people are going on holiday now, and they're going to this area. So there are large numbers of tourists. They arrive there. Global companies now become involved. So all around the world, people can come and visit this area. And tourism becomes a large part of the economy. So when back in stage 1, when it was a fishing village, now their main source of money or income is now tourism. So everyone who lives there works in the tourism industry. And now many facilities have opened up for that. Then after that, we start to go into a decline in stage 4 when tourism starts to go down a bit. Okay, so maybe this area isn't so popular anymore. The resorts are no longer thought a good place to visit. So, you know, a few years ago they might have been excellent, but over time they might not be that fashionable anymore. So they can become dependent on day or weekend visitors. So not the big amount of people that come in the summer, just those that come at the weekend. So fewer people come. And then that means that the facilities run down. They start to not look very good or close down. And then this will lead on to stage 5. We call this where it starts going bust. They might need to redevelop, start to make it attractive again. So the long-term decline will take place unless steps are taken to redevelop the area. So the people now have noticed that hardly any tourists are coming to this area, so they have to really think, how can they attract them back? So they might have to modernise their hotels, get in some new fashionable activities for people to do, clubs, bars, anything to get those tourists back. So here in front of you is the Butler model. So what I would like you to do is spend a couple of minutes to copy these down. You don't have to draw the Butler model, but it could help if you would like to. So you can just rewind the video back to what we were looking at. So spend a couple of minutes to copy this down. Okay, so just to put this in a bit more context, if we link the photographs with the Butler model, this is, again, the same area of Benidorm in 1936 when it was a sleepy fishing village and it had beautiful beaches. So this is what it would look like at stage 1. So people would come just to look at the beautiful sights and scenery and the environment. Here we go, this is stage 2. You can see Hotel Marconi in 1946, so just a decade later than stage 1. And you can see that there are a few people on the beach there. Look at the size of that hotel. It's quite small, but it's there just to accommodate the few people that are visiting that area. And this is where we really see growth. So this is when other people that live in the area will start to open up maybe little stalls to sell fruit or food or drink. They might have some water sports there. They might be hiring out boats or surfboards, etc. So people are changing what they were doing before to accommodate these tourists. Right, here we go. So this is stage 3 or 4, so really moving up and becoming quite popular. This is in 1980, and this is the same hotel we saw, Hotel Marconi. There we go. And you can see how it's really grown from that tiny little building on the beach, has now expanded. And it's done that because more people want to visit this area. So they have to build more rooms for these tourists. Okay, and this is what it looks like now in 2016 up to present, the Manhattan of Spain. So there are so many buildings that have been built to accommodate all the tourists that are wanting to come to this part of Spain. So this really shows how a place grows because of its popularity and people want to visit there. What you've got to do here, guys, is read the information in the box here. Okay, so in a minute you'll want to pause the video and read that information. If you were looking at this on your phone, then you might have to zoom into the screen to see this. If you can't see it, then please email your teacher and they will send you an email copy. So, on the right, you've got some questions. Okay, you've got 7 questions and a challenge. I want you to read this information about Benidorm and answer each question in full sentences. So I don't just want a one-word answer. I just want a really good explained answer. Now, all the information that you need for these questions are found in the writing, so you just have to read it carefully. Okay, so here are the answers. So you just need to get your green pens out and give yourself a tick or change it. Now, I know I said I wanted full sentences for your answers, so just ignore my first one. Obviously, I would like you to have written the year Benidorm was still a sleeping fishing village was in 1930. So that's the sort of response I would like for that. Okay, use your green pens, guys. Well done.